God bless you. Welcome to another Elect Ladies Corner. In a world that measures success by wealth, it's hard to fathom how having less can sometimes leave us with more. Yet, for those of us who have been fortunate enough to taste both extremes of the spectrum, from the humble poverty of our beginnings to the dazzling heights of wealth, we find ourselves in a paradox that stirs the soul. The truth is, the more we've accumulated in material wealth, the poorer we have become. This isn't just a statement about the mindless pursuit of possessions. It's a soul-searching reality, and it is scripturally profound. In Matthew chapter 6, verses 19 through 21, Jesus warns us, "Lay not up for yourselves, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through or steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also." This simple yet profound and powerful message cuts to the heart of our modern obsession with accumulating more. What if the wealth we strive so hard to attain is actually stealing from our spiritual richness? When we had little, we had everything. It was not the richness of our pockets that sustained us, but the richness of our hearts. Our possessions were few, but our relationships were deep. Children loved and respected their parents and elders, and parents esteemed and loved their children above their own personal desires. Our time was limited, but our peace was abundant. In the early days of struggle, we didn't have the luxury of distractions. We focused on the essentials: God, family, faith, love, and community. There was joy in simplicity, and in every meal shared, every prayer uttered, we were richer than we could have ever imagined. In our own subconscious, it was exemplified that godliness and contentment were our riches. But as time passed and success knocked on our doors, we began to accumulate more possessions, more influence, more status. The material world became easier to navigate, but with it came the subtle corrosion of our spirits. We began to spend more time tending to our possessions than our souls. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verses 9 through 10 reminds us, "Those who want to get rich fall into temptation and a trap, and into many foolish and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. For the love of money is the root of all evil." And it's true. The more we desired to have, the more we found ourselves enslaved by our desire. The very wealth we thought would bring us happiness became the chains that bound us. In our pursuit of worldly success, we often lose sight of the true treasures that once gave us life, contentment, simplicity, and gratitude. The more we acquire, the more we feel the gnawing emptiness that comes with wanting more. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 10 warns us, "Whoever loves money never has enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with their income." It's as if the more we have, the less we are able to appreciate what we've been given. We find ourselves caught in an endless loop, constantly reaching for the next big thing, but never truly arriving at fulfillment. Let's not mistake riches for success. True success is not found in material wealth. True success lies in spiritual richness, the peace that comes from knowing who we are and whose we are. Proverbs chapter 15, verse 16 reminds us, "Better a little with the fear of the Lord than great wealth with turmoil." It is in this fear of the Lord that we find our deepest fulfillment. not in the fleeting pleasures of earthly gains. When we had less, we learned to depend on God in ways we cannot replicate now. We prayed more fervently, trusted more deeply, sought the face of the Lord more eagerly because we had nothing else to cling to. Perhaps it is time to return to the place where we found our true wealth, the place of simplicity, of humility, of gratitude that comes from trusting in God. It's not too late. The soul's treasure is never lost, though it may be buried beneath layers of materialism and pride. But if we are willing to take a step back, to let go of the things that have distracted us, we can rediscover the joy of being rich in the will of God and seeking the things that matter most. The Apostle Paul in Philippians chapter 4, verse 11 through 13, shares the key to true contentment. Paul says, "I have learned to be content, whatever the circumstances. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or living in want. I can do all this through Him who gives me strength." The key to riches is not in what we own, but in who owns us. It's in our relationship with Christ that we find our true worth, our true peace, and our true riches. The beauty of the gospel is that we can come to Christ in our poverty, in our desperation, in our humility, and He will make us rich beyond measure. He is the treasure that never fades, the wealth that can never be stolen. Matthew chapter 5, verse 3 declares, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." When we acknowledge our spiritual poverty, we open ourselves to the fullness of His grace, which is the only wealth that truly satisfies. So, what does it mean to go from riches to rags? It means remembering that God is our source and not the resources we accumulate in this world. Psalms number 24:1 declares, "The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein." So when our trust is in God, we are wealthier when it seems we have nothing, because in those moments we have everything that truly matters and a peace that passes all understanding. So let us not wait until we've lost it all to realize that our true riches are not of this world. But let us seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all the things we truly need will be added to us. In the end, let's not go from riches to rags because we have forgotten when little made us richer, because it came from God and not from the love of this world. True wealth is only found in God alone.